Hello, I'm Susan Hirosuna. We're continuing to track that big storm now moving over Southern California. Heavy rain causing issues from downed trees and power lines to flooding to sinkholes and potholes. Now take a look at this live look at our radars. You see there all the green and the darker green and the yellow. That pocket of yellow and orange would be the heavier areas of rain for our area, now heading over Ventura, mostly over Ventura County. So what our meteorologists tell us is that the heaviest of the rain now behind us. We did see the bulk of the rain come through earlier this morning into this afternoon. For the remainder of the evening and moving through Sunday, scattered showers can still be expected. We do have a secondary system that is expected to approach us to start our work week. So that would be Monday into Tuesday. We will have more of that wet weather. Moving on, evacuation warnings are still in effect for many burn scar areas around LA County. Those include areas including Canyon, Bethany, Eaton, Palisades, Hearst, Kenneth, Sunset, Lydia, Franklin, and Bridge. And then mandatory orders for select properties. I would imagine if you've gotten that mandatory order, you would already know. Warnings and orders in effect through 8 a.m. tomorrow. There are also orders in effect, but those are only for areas that are at heightened risk for mud and debris flows. People in those areas have already been contacted by law enforcement. All right, so we also want to mention evacuation warnings have been issued for areas in Ventura County. Those are also now on your screen. As you see there, we've got the mountain fire burn area, also Matilaha Canyon, North Fork, and Camino Cielo. Then eastbound, San Bernardino County, evacuation warnings for properties in areas of the line and the bridge fire. Residents living in those areas need to be aware. All right. Steady rain in South Pasadena today caused chunks of Edgewood Drive between Wayne Avenue and Shelton Way to open up, swallowing the back tire of this maintenance truck. And now look at this video. Highway 330 at the line fire burn scar. That's the area of San Bernardino Mountains. The major storm hammered the mountain area throughout the day. The big concern remains Highway 330 through the line fire burn scar. Multiple mud flows and small rock slides impacted the highway. However, Caltrans patrolled the entire highway with snow plows and were able to keep the highway open and navigable. Another reminder about evacuation warnings still in effect for many burn scar areas around LA County. Those are there on your screen. The warning will be in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow. There are also orders in effect, but those are only for areas that are at the heightened risk for mud and debris flows. People in those areas have already been contacted by law enforcement. We do also want to mention evacuation warnings have been issued for areas in Ventura County. Those two now are on your screen. Warnings also for San Bernardino County. And you just saw the video that we showed you from San Bernardino County that shows you how much water, how much mud, how much debris flow is coming down the mountains. Residents living in areas burned by the line and bridge fires should be particularly aware of what their situations are. All right, we're going to look again at our radar, and it's quite interesting to see how the rainstorm has moved through our area. So now at this hour at 5:07, you see there that most of the greater Los Angeles and part of Orange County is pretty much clear. There's just some scattered showers at best, but you see now a concentration of the storm hovering over Ventura County, Oxnard, Ojai getting hit pretty hard at this hour. And you can track and streaming on Fox Local. We also have the latest on the storm and a live report ahead on the Fox 11 News at 10. I'm Susan Hirosuna. We'll see you at 10. Thank you.
Hello and good morning or good afternoon. Meteorologist Star Harvey here with your noon update. Now, we've been sticking around tracking this atmospheric river since about 9 a.m. this morning, and things still pretty consistently intense across some of the area. We do show some moderate to heavy downpours to the north and west of Los Angeles. So up that I-5 corridor going up into Frazier Park, Bakersfield, Delano, Derby Acres. Actually, we also have some more moderate to, I'd say, heavy downpour across some of the more general Los Angeles area. This time we're taking a look across the Sherman Oaks, Glendale area. So that 101 freeway, portions of the 110 and the 134 freeway. Out to the east, Glendora, Diamond Bar, also Ontario, San Antonio Heights, Arcadia, Roland, as well Chino Hills. We do have some moderate rainfall coming down for you currently right now. As we do get through the rest of today, I'd say late half, around that 9-10 p.m. hour, things should start to scatter out. So not as widespread. Some of this scattered activity will go into our Sunday. So we're still looking at a chance for Storm 1 to stick around. We move into next week, Monday into Tuesday. That is when Storm System 2 arrives. We do see a small break, a window into the middle of our week, Wednesday, where those chances drop down. But then they pick right back up, moving into our Thursday as well as our Friday for what we are now deeming as storm number 3. Let's go ahead and get back to what's happening right now. We are still in the thick of storm 1 or wave 1 pushing through. In the last 24 hours, this is what we've picked up. This first line is going to be Altadena. We're having a glitch right there, but the percentages have gone up, or the rates have gone up in the last hour or so. Altadena sitting at over 3/4 of an inch of accumulation in the last 24 hours. Santa Monica just I'd say very close to 1.5 inches. Downtown over 1.5 inches. Ontario as well as Beverly Hills seeing those accumulations in the last 24 hours over 1.5 inches. Wave 1 will start this morning, continues into our afternoon and likely into our evening hours as well. We talked about wave number 2 arriving for us next week. We are still looking at accumulation possible until next week with totals along the coast and some of our interior sections like our valleys, 2 to 3 inches, foothills and mountains, 4 to 6 inches. Our thunderstorm chances, heavy downpours, flooding, mudslide and debris flow across some of our burn scar are still in place. In fact, our flood watch has not been lifted. We are not anticipating that it will be lifted. It will continue through this evening, at least until that 10 p.m. hour. All of our green highlighted region here, so most of our coverage area. We have had some updates to our flash flood warning. We have had portions of the area excluded, so a lot less of the Los Angeles metro area. We do still have some of us in the red here, and this is going to be because we could see those rainfall rates anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch per hour. And this is in effect until 2 p.m. So it was originally until noon. It has been continued for another 2 hours. Here's what that 2 o'clock hour is looking like. This is our future cast here. Our radar still indicating some of us are going to see light rainfall. Some of us will get pockets of things clearing out for us. So we will still continue to see some pockets of heavy downpour moving into our late afternoon, our early evening hours. Some of us will get that break or lull in activity, but we are expecting that things will be widespread at least until we get to the back half of our evening. 10 p.m. hour, things do become scattered out there. Moving into tomorrow morning, overnight hours, early morning, we are still anticipating that the scattered rain activity will still be in our region. We arrive at Monday morning into portions of Tuesday. There's our second wave. And then again on Thursday, we will be tracking another system moving through the area. Here's a look at our current temperatures. It's a little cool out there. When we drop down into the 50s and the 60s, LA, we're cold. So of course, if you are going to be outdoors, not just those umbrellas, your rain boots, all of your rain gear, you're going to need a coat, maybe a jacket out there as well. We're in the 50s and 60s across most of the area. We're not going to be doing much warming up. In fact, our highs for today shooting for 63 degrees for for the downtown LA area, and we will also remain in the lower 60s until our Sunday. The biggest difference from today into the end of our weekend will be our widespread rain dropping down to scattered. Of course, we'll be back later tonight for our 10 p.m. newscast right here on Fox 11. Until then, be safe out there. Good morning and happy Saturday. Meteorologist Star Harvey back with your 11 a.m. weather update. A quick check into our atmospheric river, still bringing its impacts here across Southern California. We do have a few spots picking up more than other places on our radar in terms of rain, and here's a look at that. We do have a cell pushing down across the north of LA. This is going to be down that I-5 corridor or up that I-5 corridor going towards the Bakersfield area, Delano, Tehachapi, Mettler, Taft Heights, Buttonwillow. We do have a heavier cell passing your area, bringing you down closer to the El Monte, Glendora, Pasadena, Glendale, Altadena area. We do have some moderate conditions coming down across your area. East of that, across the Inland Empire, moving from, I'd say, the Ontario area from the west out to east towards San Bernardino, Yucaipa, seeing things pick up across your area as well. This is in the last 15 to 20 minutes, so we are seeing things intensify for some of us. As we do get through the rest of today and into tomorrow, our rain chances will start to dwindle down. Of course, we're expecting to see our rain chances pretty widespread, at least until we arrive at late evening tonight, becoming more scattered in nature moving into our Sunday. Still part of Storm 1. We do have a secondary system expected to push in as we do start our work week. So rain should pick back up as we move into our Monday, sticking around into our Tuesday. It will be nice to see a little bit of a break moving into our Wednesday, but that break will be very short-lived because come the end of the week, we're talking Thursday into Friday, we will be welcoming in our third storm system. So we do have a pretty wet next several days here. Here's a look into some rain totals the last 24 hours. Altadena picking up over 3/4 of an inch there. We do have some areas here, especially on our list, that got anywhere from about an inch to over an inch and a half. Ontario picking up 1.56 inches. We are still expected through at least tomorrow with this first wave, or excuse me, second wave moving into Monday and Tuesday to still see as much as 2 to 3 inches accumulated. This is going to be a little bit more in terms of our foothills and our mountains, where we could see 4 to 6 inches picked up. Now, we're not just talking downpours, light, moderate, heavy at times. We're also looking at a chance for thunderstorms to continue here. The likelihood of that flooding across some of our roadways, streets, streams, creeks, whatnot, mudslides, and also debris flow across some of our recent burn scars. So with that, our flood watch still in effect. It went into effect at 1 a.m. this morning. We did have some heavy downpours across a lot of the area at that hour. That's when we start to see things pick up, and then this watch will continue through this evening, the 10 p.m. hour. It's going to cover all of our area in green. The National Weather Service did go ahead and add on an additional warning. This is going to be for flash flood. It is for all of our highlighted red area here. In this box here, all of the red, we could see anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rainfall per hour. So you have to think with that excessive rainfall, this could put the area in a very tricky situation. We are expecting that this flash flood warning will expire at noon today. So of course, we're going to get you past noon. What are things looking like? We do show anywhere from light to a heavy downpour across the area, depending on where you are. Not all of us will see the rain at all times. Some of us will see things very heavy in downpour. Some of us will see light activity. This is our 1 p.m. hour. Most of that activity wants to remain off to the east of LA, across the Inland Empire, but also into our mountains, our low deserts, our high deserts. This is into our later afternoon. It is good to note that some of us will see breaks in the downpour where we still have those clouds in place, maybe some mist and drizzle, but then we are expecting things to pick back up after we get a break. Some of us do see that lull. So you can anticipate to have, I'd say, widespread activity at least until we get through the rest of our early afternoon and into our evening hours. As we push into that 9-10 p.m. hour, we start to see things fizzling out, and this will be the situation moving into the second half of our weekend, where our rain chances go from widespread to scattered in nature. I talked about that secondary system moving in. That will be on Monday morning. Monday morning, we have a wave of wet weather pushing through and likely to stick around into our Tuesday. There's a look at our Thursday on our futurecast. Thursday's rain likely to stick around into our Friday. Now, temperature-wise, we have also seen a dip in temperatures with our system lifting through the area. Currently, right now, most of us sitting in the upper 50s to low 60s. We do have a few 40s out in the mountains and upper 60s out in our low deserts. Our high deserts seeing temperatures in the upper 50s, and that's going to be the same setup across our coastline. Our winds, they have become up and down, calm in nature, and then we do have gusts picking up across some of the area. That is going to be the situation as we continue to see the storm system pass through the area. Our temperatures for today, we saw them 63 degrees, moving into Sunday 62, so not much variation there. The biggest story is going to be the fact that we will see widespread rain coverage today, moving to more scattered in nature for the end of our weekend. We do have another update for you coming up at the noon hour. Until then, please be safe out there if you are on the roads. Good morning and happy Saturday. Meteorologist Star Harvey here with your 10 a.m. weather update. In the last hour, we have seen things pick up in intensity across some of the area with our current storm system. So the center of that storm still sitting offshore, bringing in closer here to show you as far west as San Luis Obispo all the way through Orange County. Things still lighting up on our radar, drawing you into some of our, I'd say, hot spots that are really taking in a soaking right now. Going to be off towards the I-5 corridor, headed up towards the Bakersfield area, Fraser Park, Mettler, Taft Heights. Really seeing a lot more of those yellows and oranges on our maps, just indicating that rain not light to moderate anymore. It's coming down a little bit more intense. Santa Clarita seeing a cell move across the area, and of course we got to take you across the Altadena, Pasadena, El Monte area, Glendora, where we do show that there is some moderate rainfall coming down, heavy in some spots as well. The Inland Empire, Ontario, seeing a cell pass across the area as well. This is going to be the case down towards Orange County, Irvine, Laguna Niguel, moving up and through Anaheim, and of course across that 15 freeway. Temecula, seeing a lot more of those yellows and oranges on the map as well, just letting us know things are becoming intense and in terms of how fast or how much that rainfall is coming down. Went ahead and picked up some totals here in the last 24 hours to show you where our rain totals are. Altadena, a little bit over 3/4 of an inch there. Malibu Hills, over an inch in the last 24 hours. Downtown LA, we've seen close to about 1.5 inches. Ontario got over 1.5 inches, and that's the case up towards some areas in Santa Barbara as well. Now, we are not quite done with the rainfall. We have seen this system. It is moving rather slow. It built in last night, gained its intensity, and our overnight hours, we are expecting it to stick around through this morning into our afternoon. We do have a secondary system that is expected to pass through. That is not until next week, Monday to Tuesday. And then we are looking at a third system by the time we arrive at the end of next week. Rainfall totals possible from now until next week. Our coast and our inland area, we've already seen over 1 inch to 1.5 inches in some areas. We're still looking at 2 to 3 inches possible. Accumulation for our foothills and our mountains still coming in a little heavier, about 2 to 6 inches. We're continuing to see not just the heavy downpours, the likelihood of some thunderstorm chances moving through. No storm reports quite yet, but we do have the likelihood of that flooding, multiple alerts back in place, and mudslides and debris flow across some of our burn scars is possible. Our flood watch does continue through the rest of this evening. It did go into effect at the 1 a.m. hour. It is going to include all of our coverage area here. New to the mix this morning, the National Weather Service in the 8:30 hour this morning did put out a flash flood warning. This is going to be across all of our red highlighted areas here. Some of that is going to include the Los Angeles metro area, up and through Santa Clarita, Agoura Hills, stretching as far south as Long Beach. This is going to be in effect until around noon. So of course, had to get you to noon on our Futurecast to show you where some of our heavier spots in terms of downpour, where we're looking at, most of that is going to be to the east of the LA area. This is in the next hour or two, 2 hours there, just around noon. Again, this model is indicating that we are going to see some breaks in our storm system passing through. This is into about the 1 p.m. hour, where again, most of that downpour is still hanging out to the east of us. So the Inland Empire, our low deserts, into some of our mountains as well. This does not mean that we're excluding the LA area and surrounding regions, our coastline up and through our high deserts from the rainfall. It's just meaning that some of us may get a break in some of the downpour. We are expecting that we could see that the rain will be intensified through our early evening hours. And then as we do approach that 9, 10, 11 p.m. hour, we start to see things become more scattered in nature. This will be the case pushing into the second half of our weekend as well. So if you do have plans for your Sunday, just note that you will still need those umbrellas, those rain jackets. It may be a little safer out there in terms of our roads, but we are still expecting things to be slick out there. That secondary system is expected to pass through by the time we get to Monday. This is a look into Monday morning, and we're expecting that the rainfall could be widespread to scattered as we do push into our Tuesday. Here's a look at our Thursday next week. This is system number 3 that I did mention, and it is expected once again to bring some more downpours across the area. Temperatures right now in the 50s as well as the 60s. Winds, as far as our gusts, we are seeing some areas pick up to about 5 to 20 miles per hour. So we're still looking at gusts getting through this storm event. Last but not least, let's go ahead and touch in on these temperatures for today. 63 is for today, moving into our Sunday for the Los Angeles area, dropping it down just to about 62 degrees. So we are going to be a lot cooler than where we're typically at. This is about 10 degrees off from our normal. Just note that the widespread rain should come to an end late today. And as we again do push into our Sunday, we're expecting that rain activity to be scattered in nature. Of course, we'll be back at the next top of the hour with more weather updates. Good morning and happy Saturday. Meteorologist Star Harvey here with a look at your 9 a.m. weather forecast. We're going to get right into it. Here's a very active look at our satellite and radar. At Southern California, we are still in the thick of our atmospheric river. Since last night, overnight, and into early this morning, we have had areas of heavy downpour just as anticipated. I'm going to bring you into some of these hot spots off to the 5 freeway, but also the 101 and the 405 across the San Fernando Valley. We do have some light to moderate rain really picking up and pushing across the area. I'm going to take you back here, but also up and across the I-5 corridor, moving up towards Fraser Park. So out to the west of us, we do have a very, I'd say, moderate cell coming down as well. So a little bit heavier than what we're seeing across the San Fernando Valley. Out and across the Ontario area, we show some light showers, but even heavier in and through the Orange County region. So Irvine through the 5 freeway, moving into Anaheim. Long Beach seeing some of that heavier downpour this morning as well. Now a closer look into the Inland Empire, keeping our eyes across the Pasadena, Altadena area. We do have some light to moderate rain moving in and through the area as well. We'll be keeping our eyes on the burned scar, because we do expect to have that debris flow with all of this rain coming down here this morning. Let's go ahead and get to our headlines. We are sitting in wave 1. We've hit the reset button. We will experience these storms and I'd say showers moving across the area this morning into our afternoon. As we approach this evening, we should see things become more scattered in nature. As we move into next week, we have a secondary system that we're already tracking, and this one's expected Monday into Tuesday. A third system will move in, but that's not until the late half of next week. Rainfall totals possibly from now until next week. We're expecting along the coast and inland. These numbers have been updated 2 to 3 inches across our foothills and our mountains. Slightly more. We're tracking about 4 to 6 inches possible. As we take a look at some of our impacts, we're still looking at the chance for thunderstorms, heavy downpours. Some of us have already seen them through the thick of this morning, and moving into our afternoon, they will continue. We're looking at the chance for some flooding, mudslides, but also debris flow. We've actually had some updates to our alerts, and we'll get to that right now. Flood watch is still in effect. It went into effect last night, and it will carry through this evening. As we take a look at other alerts in place, we have a flash flood in place. It is going to be all of our red highlighted area here. We're expecting to see the possibility of some of that flash flood across our streams, localized rivers, some of those low-lying areas that we know that are prone to flooding, those roadways. So, of course, we always want to stay away from that. We do have a saying, turn around, don't drown. It does not take much for a vehicle, a small profile vehicle, to be washed away with that flood level coming in. We will continue to see our flood advisory as well as our flood watch through later today. And also we are monitoring some of our coastline for a high surf advisory. Temperature wise, we are a lot cooler than we were this time yesterday, and we will carry this way into our afternoon as well. Temperatures right now 58 in Burbank as well as Palmdale. We're at 63 in Ontario. Big Bear a lot cooler, 45 degrees, and we're in the upper 60s down into our low deserts. Across our coastline, we do have 50s, upper 50s. Moving into our winds, not so much of an issue right now, depending on where you are. We do see some gusts picking up across the Santa Monica area, Santa Ana, but also down into Huntington Beach, about 15 to 21 miles per hour. I want to get into these temperatures for this weekend. LA, we're expecting to have a high of 63 degrees. And for tomorrow, not much change, 62 degrees. We do have a more widespread rain pattern for today. As we push into tomorrow, we will notice that rain activity will be more scattered in nature. To give you perspective, our temperatures usually for this time of the year, our normal or averages usually sitting at about 73 degrees. So we are coming in about 10 degrees shorter. We do still have a wet Saturday to get through. Of course, we'll continue to bring you updates here through the hours. Next one will be at 10 a.m. We'll see you there.